Welcome back to Geosphere. Imagine standing on a mountain peak and realizing the ground beneath you is literally splitting apart. That's exactly what's happening right now in the Alps, where the Hochvogel is showing signs it may not stay standing much longer. At the summit, a massive fissure has opened up, stretching more than 100 feet, wide enough to walk into, and deep enough to swallow a building. Recent measurements show the crack is expanding faster than ever, raising the real possibility that hundreds of thousands of cubic yards of rock could soon give way. A collapse of that scale would reshape valleys below and send shockwaves far beyond the mountain itself. But before we talk about the danger ahead, let's rewind. The Hochvogel isn't just another alpine ridge. Rising nearly 8,500 feet above sea level, it's a solitary landmark between Bavaria in Germany and Tyrol in Austria. For centuries, it stood as a reference point for explorers, surveyors, and local shepherds. Geologically, it's made mostly of Maine dolomite, a rock strong under pressure, but brittle when conditions turn against it. That weakness has been exposed before. In 1935, a massive rockfall ripped down its southwest face. Smaller slides followed in the 2000s and 2010s, a clear reminder that this mountain has been unstable for a long time. What makes today different is scale. Scientists estimate that up to 260,000 cubic meters of rock could eventually shear off. That's not just a scar on the cliffside, that's enough material to bury entire alpine valleys. Since 2014, researchers from Munich's Technical University and the GFZ German Research Center for Geosciences in Potsdam have been running one of the most advanced mountain monitoring systems in the world, AlpSense Bench. Think of it as a 3D digital twin of the Hochvogel. Dozens of sensors track even the tiniest movements: laser scans, GPS readings, vibration monitors, and fissure meters capable of detecting changes smaller than a millimeter. Even gusts of wind and distant tremors show up on their radar. And yet, the scientists admit, predicting the exact moment is impossible. The system works like a weather forecast. They can spot patterns and acceleration, but not the precise second the rock will break. That uncertainty has created a strange paradox. On one hand, the Hochvogel is now one of the most closely studied peaks in the entire Alps. On the other, it has become a dangerous attraction. Hikers still climb just to peek into the expanding fissure, treating a natural hazard as a sightseeing stop. Meanwhile, nature keeps pushing the clock forward. Summer heat melts ice, and rain seeps into cracks, turning water into a natural lubricant that helps the mountain slide. Over the past 5 years, the fissure has widened by more than a foot, a small number in daily life, but catastrophic at this scale. This scenario isn't unique. In Switzerland, a minor slope movement once accelerated from just a centimeter a day to a centimeter an hour, triggering a full collapse. The Hochvogel sensors are watching for that same deadly acceleration. If the worst happens, debris will rush into Austria's Hornbach Valley near the German border. It's not a dense urban zone, but it is filled with hiking trails, alpine huts, and pastures. For anyone caught there, the outcome could be devastating. That's why authorities have reinforced early warning systems, linking up rescue services, alpine clubs, and local governments on both sides. Even with just 2 days' notice, they could evacuate people in time. But here's the haunting part. The collapse may not come in one single event. Experts believe it could happen in phases, stretching over months or even years. That means the mountain could remain unstable for decades, forcing trail closures, restricting summit access, and hitting local tourism hard. And yet, not everyone takes the warnings seriously. Despite signs of instability, visitors still hike the area, some brushing off the risks in search of a thrill. It's a sharp contrast. A mountain once viewed as eternal strength, now standing as a symbol of fragility. The psychological effect is already being felt. Residents and hikers live with constant tension, knowing a collapse could come with little warning. Trails that once felt serene now feel uncertain, even threatening. Widen the lens, and the Hochvogel becomes part of a larger alpine story. In recent decades, extreme weather events in the region have nearly doubled. Heavier rains, hotter summers, and sudden lightning storms have all increased stress on mountain structures. Scientists are even studying how repeated lightning strikes may weaken rock layers, leaving them more vulnerable when saturated by rain. So, while engineers monitor the Hochvogel 24/7, every tiny shift matters. A movement of just a few millimeters can mark the line between stability and disaster. And the threat doesn't end with the collapse itself. Secondary mud and debris flows could push destruction farther into valleys like the Hinterstein Valley in Germany and the Hinterhornbach Valley in Austria, requiring long-term planning far beyond the first event. At this point, the Hochvogel isn't just a mountain, it's a warning, a living laboratory where climate change, geology, and time collide. It shows us that even landscapes we once thought permanent are fragile. The phrase "solid as a rock" loses its meaning when the rock itself is breaking apart. Looking at the Hochvogel now is like watching the Earth remind us who's in charge. And if you want to keep following stories about how our planet is shifting and reshaping before our eyes, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon. Share this with anyone fascinated by natural forces and let us know in the comments. Have you ever witnessed signs of a mountain in motion? Your experiences help build the bigger picture. See you in the next one.